They fell in love but kept it hidden in the 80s and 90s. Stars were true stars in the 1980s and 1990s, and love tales were the biggest news of the day. The costumes and hairstyles of the time certainly enhanced the atmosphere, but modern romances may learn a lot from historical partnerships. Did you know Richard Gere was in a relationship with Cindy Crawford during the Julia Roberts and Pretty Woman eras? Were you aware that the rock and roll princess married the king of pop? The celebrities dated each other, in turn, ensuring that they all had a taste for each other. Tell us how many times Johnny Depp appears on this list. Richard Gere and Cindy Crawford. Richard Gere already had a record of women he dated in 1987, which included Kim Basinger, Priscilla Presley, and a few other major names. He was the end-all be-all of studs. Cindy Crawford, who was just in her early 20s when she met Mr. Gere, married him in 1991. Crawford opted to untie the knot rather than squander her golden 20s with the silver fox. He was and still is a real charmer any woman would want to have, and she was one of the sexiest ladies living in the 1990s. Kim Basinger and Prince. Batman, which was released in 1989, was the catalyst for Kim Basinger and Prince. Basinger featured in the film, while Prince composed the incredible music. Kim Basinger was interviewed once, and she said openly that her time with Prince was extremely valuable to her, as were all her experiences at the time. She was a free spirit who did whatever she wanted, and Prince, based on his public image, was quite similar to her in that regard. Dating Prince was apparently just up her alley. They even collaborated on music projects. Thurston Moore and Kim Gordon. Thurston Moore and Kim Gordon were rock and roll aristocracy at their most amorous. In 1981, the two musicians met, fell in love, and established the renowned band Sonic Youth. Moore and Gordon even married in 1984, making them the trendiest married couple in music at the time. Unlike a love song, the rockers' romance ended abruptly. Thurston had been covertly meeting his book editor, Eva Pintz. When Kim spotted odd messages on Thurston's phone, she realized the truth. Sonic Youth crumbled, and the couple's marriage ended in acrimony. Spike Jonze and Sofia Coppola. Sonic Youth seems to have been a romantic hotspot. Former Flames Thurston Moore and Kim Gordon not only formed the band, but filmmakers Spike Jonze and Sofia Coppola also met on the production of Sonic Youth's music video 100%. What began as a fierce relationship quickly evolved into a romance, leading the two to exchange vows in 1999 at Sofia's renowned father's, Francis Ford Coppola's, winery. Coppola and Jonze eventually divorced a few years later. Some people think Sofia's troubled relationship with Jonze served as an inspiration for her film Lost in Translation. Eric Baldwin and Kim Basinger. Another infatuated co-star pair. Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger met on the set of The Marrying Man in 1990, and their turbulent romance began. Basinger and Baldwin married 6 weeks after first meeting, as though the title of their film was a foreshadowing of their future. Unfortunately, their love was not meant to be. 8 years after they married, Basinger filed for divorce from Baldwin. They have a famous daughter together, Ireland Baldwin, who has a successful career in the business as a model, actor, and social media presence. Sean Connery and Kim Basinger. Another captivating chapter in Hollywood's history of infatuated co-stars brings us Sean Connery and Kim Basinger. The two shared the spotlight during the making of Never Say Never Again in 1983, igniting a love story that would reverberate throughout Tinseltown. Amidst the glitz and glamour, their affection bloomed, capturing the attention of fans and media alike. Yet, unlike the romantic titles of their films, their relationship followed a different path. Despite their undeniable chemistry, Connery and Basinger's love story eventually reached its denouement. Their life took separate trajectories, and the echoes of their time together remain a part of Hollywood's tapestry. In the end, as with many such tales, their story reminds us that love's curse can be as unpredictable as the scripts they once brought to life. Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. You may have believed this golden oldie wouldn't make the cut, but how could we forget the love story between Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise? Kidman met Cruise in 1989 while shooting Days of Thunder, and based on her dating history, she seems to have a tendency to date people who are shorter than her. Kidman and Cruise married on Christmas Eve 1990. At the time, Cruise was married for the second time. While they were married, they adopted 2 children, Isabella Jane and Connor Anthony. The couple separated in 2001. Cruise requested a divorce in 2006. Kidman acknowledged that she still loved Cruise and that it was difficult for her to let him go. Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall. Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall epitomize when a beauty dates a geek. They both appeared in the 1980s film 16 Candles and The Breakfast Club and dated briefly following their success. Young people all over the world who enjoyed seeing them together idolized these 1980s stars. The fans of the stars grew up together, each going their own way but staying close friends to this day. Ringwald is now married to American writer Panio Giannopoulos, with whom she has a daughter. Hall is married to Lucia Oscarova, an actress. Winona Ryder and Christian Slater. It's no surprise that this love drama got its start on set. Numerous celebrities, including Christian Slater and Winona Ryder, were aware of it. Slater and Ryder co-starred in Heathers in 1988 and had a huge love for each other, so it's a good thing they portrayed a couple. They made it public that they were dating, despite the fact that their relationship didn't last long. Slater, according to Winona Ryder, was simply another narrative in her relationship book. Slater, on the other hand, confesses that Winona was the love of his life and the woman he's always desired. Reese Witherspoon and Ryan Phillippe. Where would we be without Reese Witherspoon and Ryan Phillippe's ultimate 90s roller coaster romance? Ryan and Reese met during Reese's birthday party. He ended up being a really pleasant, unwelcome visitor. They married a few months later after appearing as doomed lovers in the 1999 cult classic Cruel Intentions. Phillippe and Witherspoon called it quits after reports and suspicions surfaced about Ryan reportedly having affairs with other women. They have 2 children, a girl named Ava and a boy named Deacon, whom they continue to co-parent amicably to this day. Brooke Shields and Liam Neeson. Brooke Shields and Liam Neeson met in late 1991, despite their 13-year age difference. Their love connection was so strong that Neeson proposed after just 3 months of dating. However, immediately after the proposal, Liam rushed home to cope with flooding in his house. Brooke presumably waited eagerly to hear from her fiancé, but she never did. He did, in fact, ghost her. Brooke Shields, it seems, can be ghosted. Nobody's secure anymore. When he regained his wits a few months later, he crawled back to her and re-proposed, to which Shields said, "No. Brooke, go." Lance Bass and Danielle Fishel. Back in the 1990s, Boy Meets World actress Danielle Fishel and NSYNC member Lance Bass were high school sweethearts who even went to prom together. Although the young lovers were not meant to be, they remained excellent friends. Danielle was very supportive of Lance once he came out as homosexual in 2006. "I always knew you would accept me," Lance recently told Danielle on his podcast, The Daily Popcast with Lance Bass. That's true love. Bass, who is married to actor Michael Turchin, and Fishel, who is married to film producer Jensen Karp, finally found love with other people. Anne Hesh and Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen DeGeneres met the late actress Anne Hesh at the 1997 Vanity Fair Oscars after-party, only days before her memorable In Style magazine cover, on which she declared to the world that she was homosexual. It was an immediate connection, and the two quickly became the most renowned homosexual couple in Hollywood at the time. Unfortunately, their romance ended a few years later when Hesh allegedly abandoned Ellen without explanation. In a 2001 interview with the Los Angeles Times, Ellen stated, "I'm left with everybody else wondering what happened. I feel betrayed." Talk about being caught off guard. Matt Damon and Minnie Driver. Matt Damon had a fantastic year in 1997. Not only did he release his highly praised picture, Good Will Hunting, for which he eventually won an Academy Award for Best Screenplay, but he also found love. Matt and Minnie began dating after meeting on the set of the film. However, any good feeling, pun intended, between the two vanished when Damon broke up with Minnie by revealing his single status on Oprah. The news stunned millions of viewers, including Minnie herself. Not a smart decision. Matt, we're curious what Luciana, his current wife, thinks about it. David Spade and Christy Swanson. It's no secret that Spade is more famous for his wit and humorous work than his physical attractiveness, but that hasn't prevented him from dating some of the industry's most beautiful ladies. In reality, the Saturday Night Live veteran and comic has a long list of ex-lovers. Christy Swanson is one of the first names on the list. Spade and Swanson met first on the set of 1996 Heads in a Duffel Bag. It's no surprise that the picture tanked a little with a title like that. However, love bloomed between the stars for over a year.